What's going on, everybody? Tyler, Relph. Now we're going to go over 2-foot stops in the paint. If I want to be able to slow myself down in the paint, okay, so what we see a lot, young players all the way up, even in the highest levels, is the ability or the inability, right, to slow themselves down in the paint and either create a shot for themselves or, right, keep drawing the defense in and making plays. So, right, the first thing we're gonna do, we're just natural speed stop. So it's a right foot, left foot. So one of the things I used to love to do with our bigs, right, about 10 years ago, one of them was Tyler Davis, all SEC, All-American at Texas A&M. We would go pivot sequences. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what we would do, we'd start here, right? We would go right, left. Okay, right, first is a 1. So 1 means I get 1 pivot. So let's say our first pivot is gonna be, right, a step through. Okay, so I'm just going here, right, defender maybe runs by, or I shot fake and they lift up, I'm able to step through to the lane. Okay, a 1 could also be, right, shot fake. I want you to notice something, the angle of my feet, creating space off the back foot, right? You rarely see guys stop like this in the paint. Okay, so angle your feet, right? Angle the stop. I can, if they stay on my hip, keep it to my chin and step around, okay? I also can reverse pivot. So I can right, left show, they're pressed to my frame, right? And we go reverse pivot, right? Kobe made that move famous when he played. Okay, so a 1, okay? A 1 can be a 1, 2, right? I'm up and under, right? It can be a right show, right? Stepping around you. It could be a up, right? I'm reverse pivot, Kobe pivot. Okay, so that would be a 1, right? Same thing we call a 2, right? So now it's maybe 1, boom, I'm up. Now I go here, defender goes. Now I pivot back around. Okay, so that would be a 2, right? I can do that all types of different ways. Maybe I'm here, 1, 2, right? Get to a fade. So that's a 2 segment. So you got your 1, your 2. Now 3, okay? And maybe I'm not going to do 3 different fakes, 4 or 5, but what it's going to teach me is to control my pivots, right? And it's going to give me options, and it's going to make my feet more comfortable in the paint. So now if we went 3, right? 1, right? Maybe I step. 2, I show up. 3 or 2 here. Then I step around would be 3. So again, it would be 1, right? 2, right? Maybe reverse pivot is 3, or maybe it's a up and under 1, bang, I come back. Now, oh, they're definitely gonna shoot, come back again and finish. So it's a 3 pivot, okay? You can do it all types of different ways. Sometimes we get here 1, right? Maybe 2, 3, just controlling your feet in the paint. And we go 4, right? And again, am I gonna make 4 pivots? Probably not, okay? But if I can make 4 clean pivots, 1 is super easy. Okay, and that's what I kind of want you guys to think, right? So I maybe go here, show up, right? It's 1, right? 2, okay, I show. Maybe 3, right? And then 4 could be, right, my fadeaway, okay? Things like that, and then we would go 5, same sequences. Maybe it's 1, I step around, right? Maybe I quickly reverse pivot, see my balance, right? Show up again, right? Step through, pivot back again. You have 3 seconds in the lane. Okay, so it's about being comfortable, making pivots, while also seeing defenses collapse so I can make plays. But it's about being comfortable in the paint, understanding your pivots, understanding how to score, right? Instead of getting here and trying to rush things at the rim. Okay, I love when guys maybe get here, they show the ball up, they step through here like this defender starts to, right, come in and they spray it out. So when you get into the paint, right, you are a playmaker. You should play with your feet. Okay, that is a inside, outside, angle your feet. Okay, right, stop. Then you can go 1 through 5, 5 back to 1, get 10 different finishes, right, and it'll really help your scoring within the paint. Now, a lot of times when you get in the paint, all we talk about, especially back in the days, like, big guys make moves in the paint. Now you see a lot of, what people call big guards, and some of them aren't even big guards, right? They're just point guards, right? So Jalen Brunson, right, probably has the best 2-foot stop package, right, in the paint. You see guys like Anthony Edwards use different things. One of our players who now is at UConn, Liam McNeely, does a great job, right, of getting in the paint, right, slowing himself down. Maybe he has a smaller guy, 6'3", 6'4", right, and he's able to just pivot, right, and create fouls that way. Okay, so it doesn't mean, right, when you get here and we go through these sequences, we do them with all of our players. We don't say, oh, you're a center, we're going to go through this, okay, right? We're going to go point guards, 2s, 3s. You have to be comfortable in the paint, right? So great 2-foot stop there is our angled speed stop, right, and then our different pivots off that. What's up, everybody? Tyler Relph again, right? Still on our paint series, how to be effective in the paint. Right now, we're gonna go over an extended step. Okay, so there's different ways we can get into extended steps and different pivots. Okay, so extended step, right? I'm driving, okay? Rondo really made this move famous, right? Showing the ball at the rim, okay? Kyrie, Rondo would show with one hand. Kyrie now, right, if you watch him a lot, he'll show it too. But it creates length, especially, right, for smaller guards, but even bigs, power forwards, where now they know they can get shots off. So say I'm driving, right, on my defender, there's a different ways we can use it. Okay, so if I have a defender behind me, okay, maybe it's a big, maybe I snake it, right, and I'm getting here. Instead of, right, if I'm a smaller guard trying to finish, right, and rushing it to the rim, maybe I get here, I outside foot to an extended step, creating length, show it at the rim. Now, this foot is my space. Okay, so a lot of times, like if I'm here, this is my space. When I turn, I'm not gonna get that shot off. I want an extended step, okay? I want you to look at the angle of the foot, right? I'm not stopping like this, because now I can't stop and turn. It's almost like a defensive slide. Like, I'm not gonna defensive slide here. I'm gonna stop, load, right? And now, when I turn, say my defender's there, now, right, I can get to that fade, okay? If you stop us here, okay, right, go back to our angled speed stop video. And now I'm in this position, okay? So now if I'm here, I still got all those different pivots that you worked on previously. So I can here, now my feet are here, I'm comfortable doing this. I can step back through rim, right? I can reverse pivot here, okay? I can get here and I can step around. If they're in the air, I can create a foul. So that is a good move to use. Maybe if a big is trailing, knowing who's guarding you, what they're gonna do, right? A lot of big guys, they see guards, they're gonna go up and try to get it, okay, right? Now, another way to do it is, Jalen Brunson does it all the time, is defenders attached to the inside of the frame, okay? And what he does is kind of bullies them to spots, right? He uses their aggressiveness against them, okay? So he'll bump, right, and maybe lift off this step, right, which is my dribble step. So if I bump and lift, now I still have 2 steps, and then he, right, would stop, right, with that outside, inside, create the length. My bump is creating the space. Now I'm able to turn around and get into the shot. Okay, so there's different ways that you can use that extended speed stop. Those are 2 ways. Shot blocker, right, the Rondo, right, Kyrie, we want to try to get them up in the air. And then there's the physicality where, you know, maybe that defender thinks they're doing a great job playing defense, right, but they're just attached and they're going so fast that you just stop and use their aggressiveness against them and stop with that extended step. Couple keys that I want to point out again, the length of the step is going to be the amount of space you create, right? So how long I can play here, right, and how controlled I can play here dictates how much space I have. When you're turning around into a jump shot, right, defender body ball, what I mean by that is I may have this space, but a lot of times you see players turn and the ball comes back, right? So now space is dictated by the basketball. The basketball is here, defender's there. If they're long, they can get their hand on it. So what we teach is when we come here, I really want to get it to the back hip and I almost loop the ball over the top to that pocket. So now as I go, right, chin, right, goes immediately back to the inside. I'm reading, right, I can go up. If they start to jump, I just have to come over the top again into that finish. So we want everything right, to look like I'm going to shoot on that turnaround. And then my job is to work on the pivots that we've taught you, right, and then read and react to how our defender plays. What's going on? Tyler Relph again. We're going to talk about being in the paint. What we're going to talk about right now, right, is solutions. Okay, what we see a lot of players do, and this is all over the court, right, is them picking the ball up without solutions, right? We don't want players to over dribble, okay? That is the last thing we want players to do, right? But we don't want them to counter over dribbling by picking the ball up and not having solutions, okay? So maybe a player does over dribble, okay? Bang, they over dribble, right? They're going baseline. But if they pick the ball up here, right, and there's no solution, this is probably going to turn into a turnover or a bad shot. Okay, so we want players to keep either their dribble active, okay, and keep playing until a solution presents itself. That could be anything, right? Bang, I may come here, right? He loses focus, I snap it, corner shooter. Maybe I drive here, the 45 defender, eyes go, they back cut, right? That's my solution there. It could be, right, I drive baseline, a big does a loop to the midline and I hit them there. It also could be a scoring option. Maybe I come here, right, bang, I turn back around, right, and I'm finishing in the paint here, right, maybe with a right, first step finish, right, things like that you can practice on. But what we don't want players to do, right, is put themselves in situations where they don't have solutions. So your feet, your skill set, right, in the options that you have in your game, right, will limit the trouble you get in. Remember, do not put yourself in situations where you don't have solutions. Have solutions all the time. Even if you are over dribbling and you feel it, don't just pick the ball up to pick the ball up, right? Either dribble it at somebody, get off it, but make sure you have a solution before you pick the basketball up. That is a key if you watch a lot of players play, especially younger levels, right? They'll just pick the ball up and they don't know what to do after, and usually that's going to result in a turnover. All right, so that's a key. Always have a solution before you pick the ball up.